Last time on Casino Royale with cheese.
His kind of view on the world, being so young, he kind of showed that there's something about him that's special.
Yeah.
And he saw that, and he took the opportunity to test his blood.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't also look for semen or whatever. But
he's in there milking his prostate.
Yeah.
Go back to sleep.
Shout out to Warwick Davis, who's in the crowd.
Oh, I read about that online. I didn't see him, though.
The guy who...
he was the Ewok.
Ewok.
Yeah.
He was in the crowd?
Yeah, he was... was he with Watto in the crowd? I think he was right next to Watto in the crowd.
Oh,
he was
the one that... What was it? Wicket.
Wicket.
Yeah.
I wanted to call him Chub Chub, but that's what he said.
Chub Chub. So. Nobody ever better call me Chub Chub. I'll tell you what. I don't care how big I get.
And now, the conclusion.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Maxie bit the Force.
That's not how the Force works.
Where are you taking this thing?
You came with that thing? You're braver than I thought.
I can hold it.
Pull up! No, I'm all right.
Well, we won't be seeing him again.
Hello, what have we here?
I thought they smelled bad. On the outside.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
We help you.
Coming to you live from our studios on a moon of Endor, it's Casino Royale with cheese, starring your host, who's a real giant Gorax himself, Shane Burns.
Oh, thank you, live studio audience. This is Casino Royale with cheese, the internet show where we discuss movies that were number one at the box office exactly 20 years ago. What episode are we on?
70.
I think it's 71, big dog.
71.
Yeah, 71.
One.
As mentioned before, my name is Shane, and today I'm joined by the man who, whenever he crashed on Endor, he actually dominated the entire planet within 60 days. This is Mike.
Fuck yeah, I did.
He took control of that whole situation, but quick, boy. How's it going, bro?
It's going pretty well as we record this episode for Memorial Day weekend. I'd like to just take a moment to remember all those who've fallen defending our country.
We're going to have 45 minutes of silence. No, Mike is serious. And, you guys that died, you guys made America what it is. So,
well, we appreciate you.
Awesome. Happy Memorial Day, Mike.
Thanks.
Yep. And so if you guys hear background noises, because there's company in town.
Yeah, there's a few people in the house.
Yeah, a couple. It shouldn't be too bad, but aside from that, I guess we're, 3/4 of the way through Star Wars month as of this episode.
Oh, yeah, we're still talking about Star Wars.
Yeah. Last week was episode 1 we discussed with Preston. It was a blasty blast.
For you two.
Yeah. Mike looked really bored. If you'll notice, we get probably about 35 to 40 minutes into that. Mike doesn't say anything for like 20 minutes. He gets up and goes to get water at one point. You never would have known. But that's okay. It's just me and Mike today. Unfortunately, we're discussing a movie that you really don't have to be any kind of Star Wars expert to know anything about. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Shane is a real pal, you know. He likes to pick movies that he knows I will hate, and he likes to ruin things for me. If you guys have listened to any of the Star Wars episodes, you've heard us talk about how I'm a fan of the Ewoks.
Yeah, and I always give him shit for it.
Well, he showed me why I shouldn't be a fan of the Ewoks. So my new statement will be, I like the Ewoks in small doses.
Yeah.
Small doses.
That's it. The Ewoks, in case anybody here has no idea what the fuck we're talking about, in Return of the Jedi, there was a Death Star that was being built, a giant space station. It's the second one the Empire built. And they built it right above this moon. They call it the moon of Endor, which I'm confused. Is it the moon of Endor? Like Endor is the planet that the moon is going around, or is the moon actually Endor?
I think it's the forest moon of Endor.
Well, that doesn't tell me anything, dude.
I think it's...
Is the moon called Endor, or is it orbiting Endor?
I think it's orbiting Endor.
Okay.
Like ours would be the moon of Earth.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm down for that. Anyway, on this planet, they had to destroy a shield generator that was going to block the rebel ships from being able to attack the Death Star head on. And so on this planet surface down below where this shield generator was, I guess, transmitting its shield energy from, we'll go with that. They found this species and they look like little bitty teddy bears, and they actually helped them take down the shield generator.
They're adorable.
Yes, they unfortunately are, but much to everyone's dismay. So anyway, they were highly marketable. I can only imagine they sold about a fucking bajillion Wicket action figures. And so those are in a landfill somewhere at this point.
I would have preferred I wasn't a child back then, but I'm thinking like plush toy.
I could see that too. They did have a cartoon, and that kind of screams plush toy. So I understand where you're coming from.
And they just look like you want to hug them.
Right. They are very huggable. I could kind of see that. They're really not like action stars. Action figure, I'm sure there is some.
Oh, I know there is.
Yeah. There's an action figure for everything.
Right. Well, especially in the Star Wars universe.
Right.
By the way, the movie we are discussing is Ewok's Adventures. What's it called?
Caravan of Courage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lame title. You already know you're set up for failure.
Well, I'm going to talk about that a little bit when we go into the summary, but because this movie is a movie of 1,000 titles. But so anyway, these things were marketable as hell. George Lucas saw an opportunity to maybe sell some more fucking toys, some ad revenue for ABC, and so sure enough, he went out to his backyard with an 8mm camera and fucking made these one day.
God damn.
Made for TV movies released right around like Thanksgiving.
These were direct to TV?
Yeah, direct to TV.
What did he spend about $20,000?
That's what I'm thinking if I had to put a dollar figure on it, yeah.
You think it's like $1,500 per Ewok costume, and that's about it.
Well, they already had these costumes made for Return of the Jedi, I'm sure. So they're just like sitting in his trunk in his fucking attic somewhere, you know? He like puts them on when he's feeling real kinky. But,
whoa. George Lucas is a furry.
Right. A fur baby. He is. He looks like a furry now, too. So he's pretty squishy. Anyway, what's your experience with this movie,
None.
Mike?
Zero. Zilch. Nada.
That's pretty funny. With me, what's interesting, so I had mentioned before, so this is the first of 2 Ewok movies. The second one being
The Battle of Endor?
The Battle of Endor.
Oh,
yes.
shit. The only reason I know that is because I watched Caravan of Courage on a double feature DVD that Shane has.
I have the double feature thing, yeah. Apparently, at one point, those are going for quite a bit online, and I'll tell you how I got it.
Like $4.99?
I think it was closer to like $80, but I looked the other day and the price has come down. They're going for closer to like $20 now. So, anyway, I forgot what I was saying, but
there was a second movie.
Oh yeah. So we recorded off a TV, and whenever I was growing up, as I mentioned, my dad was really apt to recording over shit. And so anyway, while I was growing up in the Midwest, Mike was living out in San Diego.
Or Southern California.
A whale's vagina.
Mm-hmm.
So in Central America...
What time are we talking about? What years?
Oh, gosh, this would have had to have been somewhere between like 1994 and 97.
Oh, then I'm in Rialto, California.
Oh, is that south?
It's Southern California.
Okay,
It's
so-
San Bernardino County.
Oh, okay.
Made
So
famous
it's-
from the shootings.
Indeed. So anyway, what's crazy about this though is there was only one movie rental place that was in town. It was called Aardvark Video. Do you know why they used to do that? Like why Aardvark has his name? Is so that basically whenever they're listed in the yellow pages, they're listed first.
Oh, same reason like you do like A+ plumbing.
Right. Exactly. Yep. So,
Triple A mechanic. A1 auto glass repair.
Right.
So you're listed first.
A-Team. I actually saw an A-Team plumbing truck the other day. I was like, well,
Nice.
Made me think of Mr. T. So that one it gets a pass. But so at the stupid ass Aardvark Video, they didn't have a whole lot because it's a smaller company than like your Blockbuster. So new releases, those are pretty much out. But they had a bunch of old shit that you could kind of thumb through, and it was a pretty good selection. Sure enough, they had both of these dumbass movies there. And so I had never seen the first one. All I'd seen is the second one that my dad recorded off of TV. And so I watched this one, was not impressed. And I think I've watched it maybe one other time since then. And I've seen the second one, however, on repeated viewings. And that's not to say that it's good, but it's definitely more entertaining. And it is way, way, way better than this movie. So, by a long stretch.
Battle of Endor is better?
Yeah.
Then why didn't you fucking pick that one, you ass?
Well, I figured that you were going to ask me that. And unfortunately, I have heard the review of We Hate Movies. They did the Battle of Endor review. And it is a work of art. It really is a fantastic review. And I really didn't want to just kind of like bring up all the shit that they said. I don't, because I've listened to it pretty recently, and I don't think that I could distance myself from it far enough to not plagiarize them.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But it is great. If you haven't heard We Hate Movies, check them out and check out their Battle of Endor review because it's really funny. But anyway, so I picked this movie just because...
Now all 7 of our followers are going to be We Hate Movie followers. Good job, Shane.
Oh, fuck these guys. Yeah, exactly. Fucking, I guess we're giving them Spain. This is like Risk. You know?
Our one guy in Portugal, gone.
Yeah, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. So, I don't know. I don't think this movie is very good, unfortunately. I did, however, pick it basically just because I didn't want to do like Star Wars episodes, like talk about A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Star Wars month over. That's not creative. I was trying to think outside the box a little bit. So,
well, at the end of this episode, you'll get to hear our final pick.
I'm really pumped about it because you've been building on this since the first week.
Looked a little outside the box myself.
Okay, I'm super pumped about it. So, anyway, Mike, I guess we can go over the playing characters in this movie real quick. Nobody worth mentioning, really. Because you have to keep in mind this is a low budget affair, but I will say that I was impressed that the visual effects came out as well as they did. But once again, George Lucas basically had ILM in his pocket.
Did he already have a relationship with Jim Henson at this point?
I have no idea.
Because it sure does look like it.
Yeah, there's some puppety stuff in this movie. That definitely. We've got this dude Eric Walker playing Mace Tawani in this movie.
He's the kid, right? The boy,
the older son. Yeah.
He looks a lot like Luke Skywalker. Like,
I think that's what they're going
in the haircut and facial features.
Well, they even put him in a flight suit for no reason.
Right.
Yeah. Because even if that's a civilian ship that they're flying, you're not going to be in a flight suit.
The Star Cruiser?
Yeah. So Dad's not wearing a fucking flight suit. So why is this idiot who's probably not piloting in it anyway? Is he just insane?
Well, he definitely resembled a Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, he definitely did. We got Warwick Davis playing Wicket.
I know that name. Why do I know his name?
Dude, he's in a lot of stuff.
Oh, he is in a lot of stuff.
He's in like the Harry Potters, and he was, of course, Wicket in Return of the Jedi. Pretty much, he's one of the A-listers when it comes to people that are of shorter stature being actors.
He was like the prequel to I can't believe I just blanked on his name. Tywin Lannister.
Oh, what's his
Tyrion,
face?
I mean.
Yeah,
Tyrion
Lannister. Old dude, he was in X-Men Days of Future Past too.
What's his name?
Oh. You're the guy that watches the show.
I know.
I'm gonna go through this while you look up that. Okay.
All right.
All right. We got Fionnuala Flanagan plays Katarine Tawani. Guy Boyd plays Jeremy Tawani. And Aubrey Miller plays
The
Sindel
dude's name was Guy Boy?
Guy Boy? Guy Boyd is the actor's name.
I thought it was Guy Boy.
Guy Boy. That sounds like the early fuck boy or something, you know. And then we, of course, have...
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, that's it.
He's not in this movie.
No.
But he was...
But yeah, he's one of the go-tos, definitely. First thing I ever saw him in, believe it or not, was Elf. He was great in it.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
so.
And wasn't he in a Polar Express? Maybe I'm Elf is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think it's Elf, because Polar Express was all CGI.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Tom Hanks played everybody in that movie. But and then Burl Ives, the immortal Burl Ives, playing the narrator in this movie.
Oh, yes.
So, which is really bizarre. It gives this movie, like, the beginning of this movie, they're talking about, like, the Ewoks are getting out of bed, and they fucking go outside and catch fish, and all, and it's like you're watching a fucking documentary about Ewoks. It's strange, bro.
It definitely gives you the made-for-TV feel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're not even trying to make this look cinematic, you know. And it's funny, because I guess this is filmed in, like, the same county where Skywalker Ranch is, so...
Really?
Yeah, George Lucas is like, I'll just go get my camera real quick. I'll be back. Anyway, I guess we're not going to go over numbers because it was made for TV. This movie was released in other countries theatrically, though. And I actually wrote a couple of them down.
This is our first ever made directly for TV movie?
It is. It is. Wow. It is. It feels like it, too, doesn't it?
It does.
So it was released in theaters in Germany, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and others.
Made $163.
Did it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's what it felt like.
I'm not looking it up. I'm probably just a big old fat waste of my time, but excuse me. Anyway, Mike, I can do a summary of this movie if you would like.
Oh, joy.
I was bragging earlier that I basically was able to comprise this summary in about 7 minutes. It took me no time to write this thing, so...
Not surprised.
Not surprised. Here we go. Caravan of Courage, otherwise known as The Ewok Adventure, otherwise known as Caravan of Courage, An Ewok Adventure, is the first of 2 Ewok-based made-for-TV movies, this one being released November 25th, 1984. The story was written by George Lucas, the man who wrote the second Ewoks movie. As the film opens, we're introduced to Jeremy and Katarine, the seemingly married couple who just recently crashed on Endor. Their intention is to make as much noise as possible while looking for their missing children. Their efforts soon pay off, however, as they arouse the curiosity of a giant.
Roar.
He was pretty big. I'll say that for him.
He's the Gorax that I referred to you as.
Yes. I am not the same size as the Gorax, but I'm trying. So I'll be there soon. No. Anyway, sometime later, we're introduced to the Ewoks, who soon find the missing children, teenage son Mace and prepubescent daughter Sindel. We're then treated to some time filler until about halfway through the movie, when the movie decides to finally get on with itself. Mace and Sindel, with the help of a few select Ewoks, set out to find their parents. After some pretty flashy Ewok mysticism, Mace and Sindel discover their parents have been captured by the giant from the beginning of the movie, known as the Gorax. On their journey, the, quote, Caravan of Courage discovers a pond that you can't escape from, and a giant spider. After recovering their parents and thoroughly pissing off the Gorax, our heroes manage to best him with a tripwire and a cliff. After Sindel, Mace, and their parents are reunited, the Ewoks see it as an opportunity to sing and dance badly. This movie was narrated by Sam the Snowman. They waste so much fucking time in this movie, dude.
Dude, this movie is
it's
definitely like 27 minutes of anything.
You could squeeze it into.
It's an hour and 36-minute runtime, and you could knock this out in a 30-minute special all day.
Mm-hmm. This movie definitely leans more into fantasy than it does sci-fi.
It doesn't lean into anything.
It's really just a whole bunch of nothing really going on here. It is kind of obnoxious that because there's a lot of instances where the Ewoks talk to each other.
And their lips don't fucking move.
They don't move. So it looks real bad.
They're all ventriloquists.
Along with that, is they don't like subtitle anything, so it's just like watching these guys walk around just spouting nonsense at each other. Yeah, it's just nothing, you know. And there's scenes that go on like this for a couple 3 minutes.
But every once in a while, like a kid will trip and fall, and the dad Ewok will be like, "Sure."
Oh, you fucking dumbass.
Yeah, you're like, what?
Shit
He
like
just
that.
spoke English.
Right. It's true. I don't know.
And along with that,
Weird.
the planet moon of Endor, I don't know what it is. They have bunnies and goats and llamas
I
and
wrote that
ferrets,
down.
and it's all the same shit we have here on Earth. Chickens.
I wrote it down, all the shit that we have. We have space rabbits, space ferrets, space owls, space horses, space chickens, and space owls.
You said owls
I
twice.
said owls. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Did you say
mentioned
ferrets?
a couple. Yeah.
Goats.
Nope, I didn't mention
Llamas.
Nope, didn't mention llamas.
They had all those.
Yeah, that's really weird. This is not a very alien planet at
No.
all. It's very, very Earth-like in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
Even the Ewoks aren't too big of a stretch.
Chickens? Did you have chickens?
I did write chickens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They really hadn't even before this named the Ewoks or Wicket or any of those, which is kind of weird to me. I also find it weird that Wicket is mentioned so heavily in this because he's really not in this movie all that much. It doesn't seem like to me.
Well, he's there.
He's there,
He
but
doesn't do a whole lot.
there's not a main focus on him really.
No,
at all.
it's not really about him.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This it's pretty bad.
Well, let's just start from the beginning, okay?
Okay.
The acting's shit.
Real bad. The parents are bad. The kids are bad.
The kids are terrible.
Real bad.
And then, like I said, I tend to forgive actors for bad writing, and there was a lot of bad writing in this.
A lot of bad writing.
My favorite
A lot
line.
of really dumb decisions. Not just like dialogue was bad, but the characters are kind of stupid too.
My favorite line to shows you what kind of writing this movie has. There's the scene where they go to see the wise Ewok guy.
Mm-hmm.
He spins that wooden top that shows them where mom and dad are.
Right.
And then they see the Gorax that's holding them captive.
Of course.
And Mace yells out, "It looks like a monster or something real big."
To the actor's credit, what are you gonna do with that? You know,
I'm sure that's what was written.
Stupid ass line.
Yeah. And we got a lot of examples of that throughout this movie.
Yeah, there's some dumb shit. And on the topic of the fluffiness of this movie, the whole idea of Sindel being like sick and they have to go out and get her medicine and bring it back and all that shit. What fucking does that have to do with anything? Like, that never factors in the rest of the movie. It's not like the parents are sick and they need medicine too, but we've already found it. So, like, that never factors in again.
Well, we wouldn't have got that gem of a scene where there's like a little woodland creature like sticking its head out of a hole.
Yeah.
And Mace is like, "I'm going to grab that."
Right. Like a fucking idiot.
Why? Why are you grabbing that?
What are you doing? Are you hungry? I don't get it. But whatever.
I don't get it at all.
That actually happened. SpongeBob fell for that in the SpongeBob movie, believe it or not. So
SpongeBob grabbing something makes complete sense to me.
right, because he's an idiot.
Yes.
I guess this kid is too. I think that they're trying to play up the kind of the pretty boy thing with him quite a bit.
He's an asshole.
He's an asshole in this movie. I don't think that he's very cool. He doesn't look very convincing in his fucking flight suit. His acting is atrocious. But at the end of the movie, he never really does learn anything. He's just as big an asshole as he ever was. There's no character arc for him.
These Ewoks are like trying to teach him lessons and shit. And he's just like, fuck that rock.
Right. Yeah, he just hucks it to the side. All he does is talk shit to him. And then they're like, "We're going to help you." And then he's like, whatever. You know, he just is a dick the whole movie.
The Ewoks bother me. I guess I didn't notice in the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That their mouths don't move.
I don't think that they had it quite down, but it looked better there than here.
Their eyes don't move.
Oh, those lifeless dead eyes, man.
They don't blink.
Yeah, no. That's
And
bad.
like the there's no emotion in their faces. There's a couple times later in the movies where I feel like the actors are trying to get creative.
Yeah.
So they're like sticking their tongues through the holes of the masks and shit.
I saw that too.
And one's like moving his teeth around.
I'm trying to like give the illusion that they are talking at least. You know?
Well, because they don't have lips.
Right. You can just imagine all the fucking facial shit they're doing to try to get something out of that, you know?
It's terrible.
I don't know. It's bad.
There's a cool glider.
Yeah. That's okay, but once again, the only thing that they use that for is to help them find the ship. You really don't need to show them in the movie finding the ship. They could just find the kids. Fucking, if you wanted to cut the fluff out of this. Yeah, they could just stumble on it.
Could be out harvesting some fruit and just stumble upon the starship or star cruiser.
Yeah. But then we get the whole thing about how like the fucking Ewok built the thing, and it seems like a documentary again, you know? It's really strange at the beginning. It's like going through their day with them, and they're just narrating the whole thing. I thought it was really odd, man.
And fucking Wicked is just like la 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 la,
petting the rabbits, the space rabbits,
running around with his wings out like he's flying.
Right. He gets really annoying in these fucking movies. He's pretty annoying in the second one too, although they introduce a new character who's not too bad. I would be interested. I guess we'll probably have to wait for the next Star Wars month to talk about the second one because I don't think you're gonna pick it.
No. So is the line Star Cruiser crash? Is that only in this?
No, that's in the second one too.
No, but it's not in any of the Star Wars movies?
Mm-mm.
Now, how do I know that line?
I have no idea.
You remember last week I did the whole Star Cruiser crash thing?
Yeah, I didn't know that's what you were referencing.
I didn't know I was referencing this movie.
That's pretty weird, dude. Anyway, so
this is going to be like a 30-minute episode.
So here's how I came to acquire this movie.
Okay, let's hear something interesting.
Yeah, something interesting. So we had episode 1 came out, episode 2 came out, they're marketing whatever. By the time episode 3 came out, a lot of the Pepsi like tie-in stuff had kind of died down. And so really at that point, all these different merchandisers were trying to sell anything they could that was Star Wars related to tie in with episode 3's release, to try to rake in on any type of merchandising that they can, since these fucking other companies aren't really buying it anymore since the movies were crap. But so anyway, one of the things that they're selling shit like George Lucas's first movie, which was THX 1138, starring Robert Duvall. I've heard it's horrible, but I've never seen it.
We gotta watch that.
I think we probably would have to at some point. And along with that, this was one of the things that they're selling, and I think it was like maybe $9.99 or something like that. So it's not too bad of a deal, but I just bought it because at the time I was buying anything I could that was Star Wars related. I did not give a fuck. I had the original Star Wars Clone Wars, the hand animated one on DVD, all the movies, everything, you know. So that's what it is.
Very cool.
Yeah, I guess so.
What'd you think about the big rat dog?
I thought that was really dumb.
It was ugly.
It was ugly.
The animation was terrible.
Real bad. It was like King Kong level animation.
Why did they have to animate it? It was a real thing.
Yeah, they built like a big one.
Yeah, like you could just have a couple of dudes standing in it moving around.
Yeah, you could have people like guys jumping on that thing and shit and try to make it look cool. I don't know why you gotta do all this extra shit. I mean, I guess you have to do some far away shots so that people know kind of what it looks like, but you could do a lot more close up stuff, I would think.
What they do with this dude's laser rifle, whatever that thing's called, what do they call those?
Blaster.
His blaster, whatever they do, they manipulate the dude's possession of this blaster for the story in like weird ways. Like they take it away from him, then give it back to him. Then take it away from him, they give it back to him.
They're climbing that tree stump and he drops it. I figured that it was gonna break and he just wasn't gonna have it again.
That I knew that it was gonna be broken.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Now they gotta do this thing and they don't have any sort of advanced firepower.
Yep.
You know.
No, that didn't happen.
No.
Just had a glitchy battery.
Right. Yeah, at the end, he's like, oh, I hope it has enough energy and shit like that, you know? And so he's able to blast this rock, but that's like the last time it works until Mom needs it to at the end of the movie.
And then it works.
She can shoot that fucker in the shoulder. Yeah.
Stupid.
Really dumb. I think that with this movie, if you're trying to go for more of a fantasy thing and like these guys are coming upon like these fantastic creatures and instances, You really need to have more of it. Just like a worm in a tree that'll bite your arm. That's not really that clever. Like a lake that you can't escape from. That's not that clever.
And they didn't contribute anything to the story.
Right. It does. Yeah, exactly. You could completely leave out the whole thing with the lake. Doesn't matter. The spider thing, the big rat thing, you can excise that from the story. Like, none of this is weaved into the plot at all.
The lake he falls into was just so that Wicked could use a stick.
Right.
We don't see that stick used for anything else.
Right.
The magic stick.
So either we could just not mention it and not have the lake and really not be any worse off, you know? And that's all there's to that.
So they go to see this wise Ewok, and he gives them these like things to go onward with their journey.
Right.
And he gives 3 of the Ewoks feather headsets dresses that have wings.
Those never matter at all.
They don't do anything. You can just tell who they are when they're running around
right.
now. The
because
girl,
I really care.
The girl gets the purest light candle.
Yeah, the candle that never burns down or whatever.
It's the purest light, I think they say.
Right.
The mace gets a rock, which he chucks immediately.
Right.
We wouldn't even
super respectful
ever
guy.
see that again, but luckily Wicked grabbed the rock for
Dumbass
him.
Wicked picks it up, yeah.
Wicked gets a stick.
Right.
Okay, so we can talk about, so we give out, and then they get an ivory tooth.
Right.
Which is weird because teeth aren't made of ivory. And a crystal. And so we can go ahead and knock 3 of these things out of the way. So 3 headdresses, we don't need those.
Right.
They don't do shit.
They don't matter at all.
So we can get rid of those. The stick, the only thing this magical stick is used for, and it's called the magic walking stick,
is to get Mace out of the lake.
Right.
Because anything they use to try to pull him out gets like it gets vaporized or whatever.
It gets trapped in there.
Yeah.
The purest light candle.
Right.
She has that candle the entire journey.
It doesn't really do anything.
Except a whole bunch of fairies fly into it.
Things, yeah, but they don't really do anything.
We don't ever see those fairies again.
No. We see the one that didn't go.
Right.
Maybe they died. Maybe like fire kills them.
The rock that Mace got wasn't what he needed. It was the thing inside of the rock.
Right.
So they could have just gave him that in the first place.
Right.
Didn't have to hide it in the rock.
Because if it looks like something of worth, then he probably wouldn't have hucked it in the first place.
Yeah, he'd been like, oh, cool arrowhead looking thing.
This
is
yeah,
neat.
Right. Instead, it's like, yo, I can find another fucking rock if I need one.
Yeah. The ivory tooth was only used to get that guy to go with him.
Right.
And
that didn't factor into the movie at all.
Nope. No, never saw that tooth again. And then the crystal.
Yeah.
That's the only thing out of all these fucking magical things that this wise Ewok gave out mattered.
I was
used it twice
incredibly bored. What did the crystal do?
The crystal turned the spider, like, the spider stopped attacking.
Oh, I think I dozed off during that.
And then he used it to knock what are those, stalactite off the ceiling to hit the
fucking
Gorax in the head.
Yeah, I remember that part. I think that the spider thing is really the only obstacle that they have to battle in this that actually contributes anything to the plot. Like, there's a chasm. They have to get across it, and that's the spider web. That's weaved into the plot just fine. But I think that whole scene's really boring and really poorly done, and it looks like crap, and it's not interesting. And so, unfortunately, even though it is, woven into the plot a little bit better, it's not good. So, if you talk about a giant spider attacking people, you can make that really terrifying, actually. But this looked like crap. So,
Looks like they bought it from the Halloween store.
Yeah, it just about did. That's actually a pretty good comparison.
And you can see the strings,
right,
like controlling this puppeted spider.
You could tell that the spider web was basically like bungee cords that had just spider web decoration like scattered on.
I'm okay with that though. I'm okay with that because they had to be able to walk across.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm okay with that. But they put way more effort in that net than they did in the spider.
Oh yeah, that thing looks like it's about to fall apart. It's real bad.
That being said, I would love to have that spider. It was
like
some type of decoration,
piece of memorabilia
for I would use it for Halloween.
Yeah, that would be fucking cool. I would probably leave that up somewhere, actually.
Like in the corner of the room?
Yeah.
Like in the ceiling?
I mean, if it was the one from the movie,
yeah.
I would, yeah. I don't know where these movies fit into the timeline. Do these take place before or after Return of the Jedi?
I don't say.
It's weird because online it says that this movie takes place between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. I think it's weird that they would word it like that because I don't know, it's really strange just because the movie has nothing to do with The Empire Strikes Back. But
no.
So
except there's Ewoks.
What the fuck are we mentioning about The Empire Strikes Back for? But anyway, I think that there's a pretty good case against that. There's some people that were trying to explain. So here's a spoiler alert for the next movie. The Ewoks can actually, or Wicket at least, can speak English in the next movie.
Because he got taught from the little girl.
Right. Sindel teaches him how to speak
Cool.
English. Yeah. And so it's a deal where if this took place before Return of the Jedi, then why can't they speak in English, whenever we see Princess Leia later on? But at the same time, we never see any like rebel or like imperial shit like chicken walkers that are like rusted over and overgrown with foliage or anything like that. So I have no idea when the fuck this is supposed to take place. And apparently after Disney acquired the rights to Star Wars, they lumped this in a category of this being what they call a Star Wars Legends.
A non-canon, basically.
Right. It is no longer canonical. And
canonical.
Yes.
Breaking out the fancy fucking words.
That's $20 word right there, Mike. But so yeah, people were pissed off about that. I think that it puts this movie in a weird situation though, where it's one of the few things that was actually a movie, not just like a book or something that's been scrapped from Star Wars lore, pretty much. So
good call, Disney.
Yeah, probably so. I don't think that it necessarily detracts from Star Wars just because it's easy to see this as its own separate thing. So
it's a spin-off.
It doesn't bother me.
It's like Solo.
Yeah, exactly. Solo's way better.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else did I write down here?
Why didn't they use those fairies again? Why are those fairies there?
I don't know. They never matter in the movie at all.
For sure. When she captures all those fairies into the candle, they all go into the candle. I'm like, oh, we'll see that again.
I could have figured that they were probably about to get their asses whooped by the Gorax, and then she released him, and it like went into his face, and he like lost his grip and fell into a fucking like down into a chasm or something like that. No, we just fucking we got some fucking fairies, bro. What's a fairy taste like?
Whoa.
Yeah. Down the hatch, buddy. So I do think that the visuals somewhat look alright considering the budget, we'll say. Like the little spinny thing, which since when are the fucking Ewoks like enchanted? Why do they have like magical properties?
That one does.
I guess so. That's pretty weird, man.
He's my favorite Ewok in the movie.
Yeah, at least he's doing something.
Right.
He's distinguishable from the others, so I thought it was weird that whenever we finally find Sindel, that she's inside the ship. At the beginning of the movie, the mom and dad are running around outside checking.
Looking for her in the ship.
Did you not look in the ship before you took off outside to see if maybe she's in there still?
Were they not all together?
Yeah. Did they like launch an escape pod ahead of them? Or?
I don't know. But I'm asking all parents out there, which all of my friends at this point are parents.
Right.
We just crashed our ship onto a planet we don't know anything about. Let me get my checklist out of things to do. Step 1. Grab your kids.
Box. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Cut a hole in the box.
No, that's important. And I would also tell them, hey, looks like we're probably going to fucking crash. So whenever that happens, stay put and we'll fucking find you. You know?
That's the first
Pretty
thing
simple, yeah.
I'm doing. This ship looks like it's been sitting there for fucking weeks.
Yeah. Like there's shit growing out of it and stuff, you know? Like, but the movie treats it like they just crashed there. They have no idea where these kids are, and then they just stumbled upon this Gorax. That's not real good.
Let's talk about the Gorax.
Let's do that. He looks like a fucking derpy Klingon. He's real bad.
His face is shiny and his body is matte.
Mm-hmm.
It fucks with me. Oh, and he's got nipples.
Oh, does he? Oh, I kind of want to watch that again now because I bet that's fucking hilarious.
Why does the Gorax have nipples?
I have no idea. So it can feed its Gorax children, duh.
It's a male Gorax, isn't it?
You don't know that?
I guess that's true.
You just assume that thing's gender, brah.
My bad.
No, I have no idea. That's a little more detail than I wanted on this Gorax costume. He looked like, to trim him up down there, he's got a little dingle dangle, I bet.
He's got badass hair.
Yeah, that is.
He looks like a rock demon.
He kind of looks like David Grohl a little bit in Tenacious D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does have a devil vibe to him.
Mm-hmm. He's really tall. I would estimate probably at least like 40, 50 feet because
way bigger
he
than
towers
that.
over him.
The people are like the size of G.I.
up to,
Joe's compared.
Maybe his ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ewok at the end is like hitting his toe with an axe.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the size of his toe.
This dude's a fucking giant.
Yeah.
They should do a Godzilla versus Gorax in this fucking cinematic
Godzilla
universe.
will whip that dude's ass. He just got beat by 4 fucking Ewoks and 1
With
light
a rope.
fairy.
Yeah. That's true. Mom with a gun.
A weak ass laser. It shot out like a Ghostbusters laser beam.
Yeah, they already said the batteries were pretty much drained on it. You know?
There's enough to give him a little shock.
Right.
Ow! That's what he said when he got shot with the fucking saber. Was that, what do you call him again?
Blaster?
Blaster, yeah. He gets shot with the blaster. He's like, ow!
Ow. Famous last words, sir.
That same blaster just blew up a 20 fucking ton rock.
Yeah, and it didn't even leave debris. Like, it vaporized this thing. It exploded, but there wasn't, like, tiny rock around it either.
We're skipping so many lame parts of this movie.
Oh, man. So, you'll notice that in my summary, I really didn't go too much into detail about, like, the lake that Mace got stuck in that he couldn't get out of, from getting his hand stuck in
That's
the
the one time I
tree,
felt for that little actor in this movie, when he's stuck in that damn lake and he's like pressed up against the plexiglass underwater.
Yeah.
And you can see like that can't be fun. Like, I would be nervous
Yeah, I probably would be too.
as the actor. Like, yeah, I know I'm probably gonna be okay. Like, they'll definitely pull me out if something goes bad.
I really want a guy right here with an oxygen tank.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm still kind of freaked out about being stuck underwater right now.
Right.
But when he gets out of the water, what's the little girl's name?
Sindel.
Sindel's like, Wicked saved you with this stick. And Mace is like, yeah, I saw that. And thank you.
And thank you.
That's it. That's the scene. End scene.
Yep, that's the end of that character arc. That's the, what is it, Bilbo telling the dwarves that he doesn't fit in, but he just wants to go home. That's that scene.
So lame.
Let's see. I said that George Lucas isn't super good at picking kid actors to go along with what happened last week with Jake
Anakin.
Lloyd. Oof, yeah, it was bad. There's this dude by the name of Gary Kurtz. He was a producer for A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back. And basically with Gary Kurtz, what's interesting is he said that he really kind of felt like he was the one keeping George Lucas grounded. He said, but by the time The Return of the Jedi came out, he said that George had realized that you can make twice as much money off the toys as you can the movie. And so it was a situation where he felt as though after The Empire Strikes Back that George was really more into the merchandising of his stuff instead of the actual movie plot. And so he wound up cutting ties with George Lucas altogether. And so I guess that's where this is one of the products of that, you know. It looks like
I can see where that guy's coming from.
Yeah.
But, and this is a huge but, I'm just going to defend George Lucas here.
Right.
The merchandising thing, he did it first.
Right.
And he's done it better than anyone has
Did it
since.
best. Yes. Because they're high quality toys. And, dude, I'm not going to lie to you. In a situation like that where we got this dude that's now worth $5 billion, it's a situation where, you know, you kind of think to yourself, like, would I not make the same decision in an instant like that? You know, I mean, like, the only reason I'm doing any of this is to make money.
Disney they bought that universe for the toys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it.
And so they could build a theme park.
Right. Which they're getting shit done with that. You know?
I think if it's not open, it will be this summer.
Yeah. What I think is funny is that this movie aired on ABC, who would later go on to be owned by Disney, and is part of Star Wars, which would also later go on to be owned by Disney. So, pretty much, I think we might actually be owned by Disney, Mike. Not even our show, us as people, you know.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
If they pay me well, I'll sell myself. No problem.
That's fine. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, I actually wrote down how Wicked's mouth doesn't move when he talks. I wrote down the dreidel of destiny is pretty fucking weird.
Everything for you is like destiny right now. Earlier, we were in the kitchen and Shane was needing the snack, so he grabbed my bucket of pork rinds. He's like, look at this pork rind of destiny.
Dude, it was a long one. That looked like a cow tongue, bro. It was a long motherfucker, man. I wrote, Mace is a dumbass for dropping his gun. And then I said, he's kind of a dumbass all around, actually.
Yeah, he's a fucking dumbass.
Yeah. Well, you know what I thought was really kind of strange was that Mace goes through whenever all the Ewok are asleep. I guess it's Ewok. I don't think it's Ewoks. Maybe all the Ewoks. I don't know what the plural would be, but whatever.
Ewok.
I don't know.
Ewoks.
You guys know what I mean. Who cares?
I think it's Ewok. Maybe they have a cool name, like when you have like if you have a bunch of crows, it's called a murder.
Oh, yeah. Like a gaggle of Ewok.
A gaggle of geese, right?
Yeah.
They're gaggles. A herd of cows.
Right.
So if you have a bunch of Ewoks, maybe they have a cool name. What would it be?
Probably not. The Ewoks really aren't cool otherwise.
Well,
I find it unlikely they'd be cool in this one area.
A bundle. There's a bundle of Ewoks.
Yeah. That could work. I'll go with that.
They remind me of like sticks of wood.
Right. Yeah. In England, they call it something else.
Or a bundle of fur.
A bundle of fur.
So
is a bunch of fur a bundle?
I don't know. You can buy it by the bundle.
I was watching this thing where they showed all these sheep and they were getting shorn. And
sheep
these
getting
people that were online looking at it, they're like, oh my God, they're so mean to those sheep.
What?
I was like, sheep love that shit, bro.
They're getting haircuts.
It's hot outside and you're shaving that bastard. He's going to fucking love you, but whatever.
They may not even be the biggest fans of it. I don't know. Sheep haven't told me.
Right.
But they're not causing
It's
any
not
harm.
hurting him. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, back to what I was talking about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are we let's talk about anything else.
What the fuck did I write down here? What was I talking about?
The dreidel of destiny.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm done with that. I wrote down, and I actually checked the time while I was watching the movie, but it literally 45 minutes into this movie, into this 96-minute movie, is when we finally see this caravan of courage like come together and take off to go save these parents. We're literally almost halfway through this thing. In fact, probably halfway through this thing after you consider the credits. And we're just now doing what the title of the movie is.
Well, and the caravan of courage is lame as fuck. Like, so we have to get two guys to go with us, two Ewoks. There's, I guess, one female, one male, because one's called the priestess.
Right.
So I would assume it's a female.
She gets gangbanged by the other Ewoks in their gaggle, or their swarm. It's a swarm of Ewoks.
Ooh, that makes them sound way more vicious.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's something I could spray some bug spray at, man.
But the one guy, like when they're recruiting the dude with the teeth around his neck, like he's like, I don't want that fucking tooth.
Right.
And then Mace is like, check this out. I'm gonna throw this axe. And then the Ewok's like, I can do that too. Okay, I'll go with you. And then they go to the priestess and they make her take a test. That she says that they have to take a test. We know all this shit because of our glorious narrator.
Right. Otherwise, you'd have no idea what the fuck they were talking about.
Yeah, so I am thankful for the narrator, as cheesy as it is. And they have to take a test, and Mace holds a crystal, and it turns to a lizard. We don't know
whatever the fuck that's all about.
We don't know what that means, but we know that the little girl picks it up, and it turns into a little white mouse.
Into a mouse.
So then the priestess is like, okay, I'll go with you guys.
What the fuck does that have to do with it? And this is the one time the narrator doesn't chime in. You're like, no, I'd like to know what the fuck that was all about, sir.
Yeah. Please.
Something? Nothing?
Can I get a chart of possible results and what they mean?
Right? A fucking Venn diagram of this fucking movie. I guess that's the whole thing. Like, did you ever watch that movie, The Box, with James Marsden and Cameron Diaz?
I don't think I did.
It's based on, I think it's Richard Matheson that wrote the book. But the whole idea of his short story was that there's this woman that, I guess the dude loses his job, and this dude comes to the door with a box that has a button on it and says that, hey, if you push the button, you get $1 million or whatever. And so there's like this whole moral parable there. It's all about them trying to figure out if they're going to push the button, because what happens whenever you push it, not only do you get $1 million, but somebody that you don't know somewhere dies instantly. And so,
ooh, I've heard about this paradox before.
Yeah. Well, they made a movie about it, and instead they wound up, because it's a short story, there's not much to it. The guy that wrote and directed Donnie Darko actually made this movie, and he had no idea what the fuck he was talking about, because he brought aliens into this whole thing. And at one point there's a test that they give James Marsden, and he has to like pick this doorway or whatever, but it's really not based on anything. And that's kind of where I was with this movie is, well, if you're gonna give Sindel a test, like the whole like he drops a lizard, she picks it up, and it turns to a mouse, well, you gotta explain kind of what the terms of this test are. Otherwise, it just seems like random bullshit, and I don't give a fuck, you know?
Didn't need it.
Yeah, it's stupid. Because the priestess never does anything either, really, in this movie.
She does.
Oh, with the crystal at the end?
And with the fucking spider and the stalactite.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, she factors in.
She actually is the only, like, Ewok doing anything.
Right.
Except for the one who, like, dies hitting the Garox.
The Gorax.
Gorax. He dies hitting the Gorax on the toes.
Good for him.
Because the light fairy pissed it off and he hit the walls until the rocks fell down.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Ivory Tooth doesn't do shit, so fuck him.
Dude, this movie.
There's a running theory that humans are like evolutionarily unimpressive as far as like our muscular structure and like our speed and shit like that. The only thing that puts us as far up as we are is
our brains.
Like a food chain. Yeah, is our brains and our like opposable thumbs and shit like that. And I wrote down, anybody that thinks that humans are evolutionarily unimpressive need to check out the Ewoks. Because like, they can't even like climb up a fucking tree stump without having to use somebody to boost them up, you know?
Dude, look, I'll take the big brain.
Right.
I'll take it.
Yeah, me and you both.
Because if you look around, we got all the cool shit.
Yeah, we really do.
I love some cows. They're cool. They take good care of us. They provide nutrients for us.
Hell yeah.
They ain't got shit that we don't give them. If it wasn't for us, they'd just be out there in the freezing rain and in the snow trying to eat dead grass.
Right. Probably freezing to death sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Bears. Badass. All right. You know what they do? They go around and eat each other.
Yeah. After they fucking fight it to the death.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Sharks, they just swim.
They can smell blood from like 2 miles away or some shit.
They swim and they swim
crazy.
and they swim and they eat. Mm-hmm. They're cool.
Yeah.
They don't got shit. We got cool shit.
We got air conditioning. We're sitting in a cool house right now.
We're sitting in front of a laptop recording our voices into a digital media that we will then publish and upload. Of
course.
Badass.
Ewoks don't have that. So
no.
They're fucking stupid.
Their mouths don't even move when they talk.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty bad. I'm surprised we didn't see any zippers going up their backs. Honestly.
No, but you can see where their booties meet their legs.
Yeah, you really can.
It drives me crazy.
So I wrote down, what the fuck? Now we're getting Tinkerbell tickles in the end. Can we possibly drag this out more?
Dude, that little fucking Tinkerbell thing with the face.
Yeah.
Where it's dancing on his
That's pretty
hand.
cool. I'll give it that. I kind of liked it. I ain't gonna lie.
All right.
The animation on it, I thought it looked very, very Tinkerbell-esque. It was cool. I'll give it that. But once again, we're basically putting this movie to a standstill so that we can fucking have this thing that doesn't matter and we're never going to see it again. So
I don't get it. There's a whole scene where it's flying around the tent tickling them.
Yeah. And we're not talking that does this for 25 seconds. This goes on for like 3 or 4 minutes once again, you know?
Like, I think her name is Giggles.
Right. What the fuck? This doesn't matter. Can we possibly drag this out?
I thought about the actors in that scene too, where they had to like roll around on their backs and pretend like they're getting tickled.
What a fucking awkward day of filming.
And there's like someone just shining a flashlight on them where like the fucking fairy is supposed to be. Because you can see the actual light on them.
Right. And imagine then having to go to high school being this kid, the fucking mace dude.
Dude. Oh, there's a scene.
Probably gonna get your ass whooped.
The scene in the pond, we talked about the pond already once or twice.
Yeah.
But when he's sitting there like touching the surface of the pond before he goes in, or once he goes into the water,
right.
They stay above the pond for a second.
Right.
You can still see his reflection in the water.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I saw that. So he was still there. I don't know. That was weird.
It was an editing thing.
Yeah.
They photoshopped basically him out of that scene.
Right.
But they didn't touch his reflection.
Yeah, he was still there. I was surprised nobody caught that because I usually don't pick up on like stupid little goofs like that. But yeah, I noticed that too. And then I thought it would actually be cool if, like, for a second, if like his reflection was like evil or something like that, like it smiles at the camera or some shit.
I thought we were gonna see something way cooler than we got.
Yeah, he's just stuck there, and we got to use this dumbass stick to pull him out. That's all. So I think that it's funny that like they show a lot of what the Gorax is doing whenever they finally attack it. I wrote down at one point that this is like a modern day retelling of Jack and the Beanstalk, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So the Gorax, we see him head into the kitchen, where he plunks himself down at the table, nibbles on a bone that's already like stripped of its meat.
There's no meat on the bone.
Yeah, he just kind of nibbles at it for a second. Then he goes over to the tiny creatures that he stole, and he starts like fucking with them, just like messing with them and shit like that. I'm like, this dude ain't got shit to do, bro.
He's not gonna eat them.
Hanging out. If he was gonna eat them, he would have ate them.
Yeah, they're like a handful of raisins.
Right. So I think that these are more like you would cage a bird or something.
Right.
Like he's amused by them.
Right.
Basically, yeah. I don't know. Because they're not really doing anything except screaming whenever
crying.
he's there. Yeah. They're so cute.
Yeah.
That's
really scared.
Right.
Oh. And then after a while, you're like, we shut up.
Right.
It's getting really annoying.
It really does. The parents are really bad in this. In the second movie, the dad is played by the guy that was the principal in the Breakfast Club, and he was the asshole cop in Die Hard and all that shit, Paul Gleason.
Wait, that's what happens to these family at the end of all this? They stay there?
Well, I mean, you gotta watch the second movie, bro.
They stay there.
You just gotta watch the movie.
They live out their lives with the Ewoks.
Maybe they do. Maybe they
do. They crossbreed?
Are we gonna spoil the second movie?
No one's watching that shit.
Okay. So this is spoiler alert for the second movie. I'm only saying this not because I think you guys are in any way interested, but because this isn't. I mean, we didn't say that we were going to talk about this movie. So the second movie is kind of amusing in a way because it shows that basically Sindel and Wicket are like friends now, and he can speak English and stuff. And we find out that the dad actually has almost repaired the ship, that they're getting ready to bounce out, actually. And so we see an interesting deal where all of a sudden, out of the middle of nowhere, these guys come out of the forest and start attacking this Ewok village. And so anyway, the mom winds up getting killed, and the dad winds up getting killed, and the brother winds up getting killed. And so now it's just Sindel, and they wind up capturing her and Wicket, and so they wind up escaping. As it turns out, this dude that's overseeing these marauders or whatever, as he calls his minions that attack the Ewoks, he actually has found like the power cell for the ship that the dad was getting ready to like install it so they could dip out. And so he thinks that it's some sort of mystical energy that he can like somehow harness and become like this super powerful being. He's essentially found a car battery that he's trying to fucking make it do something.
Wow.
And then it's about that time that Sindel comes across Wilfred Brimley, who has this little like dude that almost looks like an Ewok, but like with a human face, and he has like floppy ears, but he can move really fast. And so
Diabetes?
Yeah, Diabetes Wilfred Brimley from The Thing and Cocoon and all that shit, yeah. And so anyway, as it turns out, they wind up capturing like Sindel again later on in the movie, and then like Diabetes takes that little fucking fast moving thing with them, and Wicket and those three wind up attacking the castle where like this guy has the energy cell and Sindel like trapped in her cage or whatever. They rescue her, and then the guys like follow him back. And as it turns out, this dude that is Wilfred Brimley, he was stranded on the planet a long time ago, and his energy cell was damaged. And so basically, he's been stuck, like marooned on this planet. And so now that they get this energy cell back, and they wind up taking out all the bad guys, then they use the energy cell to like take off, and she winds up leaving with him. Sindel does.
To go where?
They never say.
Her whole family's fucking dead.
Yeah. I don't know. She just found like this creepy old guy and hopped in his van, you know?
Some pedo.
Yeah. Don't do that. If he pulls out a camera, you need to run, girl.
No one can hear you scream in space.
No. That's fucking hilarious. But anyway, so yeah, the second movie, because it has like a villain and a plot, and there's actually not as much fluff and there's shit going on, the second one's way better than the first one by a long stretch. But once again, you don't really know, and it's like the significance of Sindel, though, and the meaning that her family has if you don't watch the first one. So I guess there's that. I do think that it's kind of weird, though, that her and her brother kind of star in this movie together. She's really not the main player. And the whole point of the movie is to try to find the parents, and then everybody but her dies in the second one.
So weird.
It's pretty strange, man. Yeah, I guess that's really about all I got to say about this movie.
The only thing I want to mention before we're done with this is the final boss battle.
Right.
So we've led up the whole movie, this caravan of courage, to go see the Gorax. And we get in there, we've already talked about the spider and shit like that. I'm talking about, this is specifically the final fight.
Right.
Okay. They go to save the parents. Retarded easy.
Right. It is super easy.
Gorax basically gets outwitted by an Ewok who plays a game of hide and seek with them.
Mm-hmm.
They finally get the parents out of the cage while he's playing hide and go seek and shit. And he sees them at the last moment, of course.
Of course.
And then he runs to them and they pull a tightrope out and trip him.
He runs down the stairs and trips over it.
Yeah. Trips over his tightrope. Falls down. Ewok uses the priestess uses her magical wand to get a stalactite to fall on his head.
Of course.
Doesn't do anything.
No.
The mom is able to eke out the last little bit of juice out of this fucking blaster, which hurts his shoulder, and he falls down.
Right.
But then he climbs up, and he's inches away from the little girl and the two smallest Ewoks, who they kept behind to keep him safe.
Of course.
And he's defeated by Mace and the axe from the Ewok who sacrificed his life.
Right.
With a throwing scene. So I guess that's why they showed us with the earlier throwing scene.
Throw, yeah.
Yeah, like they established this kid knows how to throw an axe.
Right.
And Gorax falls to his death, and they swing across the rope that I don't know where it came from.
I don't know either.
And they cut to them singing and dancing in a hut. Yeah.
It's a pretty stupid ending. It's pretty anticlimactic.
The whole movie, there's no climax.
You have to have a story for it to really climax, you know? Like, there's a whole lot of nothing going on in this movie. There's a debate about which of these is better, the first or the second one, but to me, it's not even close. This is not good. And that's all.
Yeah,
really.
It's not good. And I know that Shane only picked it so that I wouldn't like Ewoks as much as I said I did.
Well, so I was debating watching this one, but then I found out that you like the Ewoks, and so I was like, no, we gotta do it now. That's it. There's no debate.
Just like a real friend would.
Yeah, I like to fuck you over, Mike. That's pretty great. What'd you watch this week, my man?
I don't know.
I know you watched Game of Thrones.
Oh, yes, of course.
That came to its conclusion.
Should we talk about that for a second?
Yeah, we're probably... I don't know if Mike's going to spoil it, but...
Well, I am going to spoil it.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert.
Yeah, you're going to want to jump ahead a little bit here.
Or just go ahead and end the episode now.
Right.
Right.
Don't watch Caravan of Courage.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
There's been a lot of complaining online.
There has been.
About
People are pretty upset about this
in the game.
There's a petition that they'll rewrite it. And
That's not
it.
happening.
No. I think that if HBO wanted to change it, they would not have released this season.
They would have told us to wait another year.
Right.
So, I, like a lot of others, felt unfulfilled with the wrapping up of Game of Thrones. Until I took a day or two or three to really think about what had just happened. And I realized this was what was supposed to happen.
Okay.
They had been telling us the whole time this is what was going to fucking happen. Okay. Like I said, spoiler alerts.
Okay.
So if you don't want to hear, just turn it off. All right. 3, 2, 1. Spoiler alerts over. Okay, here we go.
I don't really care because I don't watch the show. So.
Bran becomes king.
That's what I heard.
Okay.
And then John goes to
hold on.
Okay.
Bran always knew he was going to be the fucking king.
Okay.
He didn't want to be the king, but he always knew he was going to be the fucking king.
Now, he's the one that was injured in the first episode,
yes,
right?
he was paralyzed in the first episode.
He cannot walk. So, from what I understand, is they end up pretty much just letting his dumbass around pretty much for the rest of the series.
No, he can warg.
Okay.
And he's the three-eyed raven, which means he can see all the history and see what's going on around the world.
Okay.
He can
So he's useful.
He's very useful.
Okay.
I think he'd have been way more useful as a hand personally, but that's okay. The hand is like the right-hand man of the king.
Okay.
John is sent to the wall,
right.
which is kind of what John always thought he was going to do with his life anyways.
That's what I heard is he was fine with that.
He started the show off going to the wall.
Yeah, he had no aspirations of kingdomhood or
no, and he never wanted to be a king or anything like that. So,
right.
Defending his country is kind of like what he always thought he was going to be. Sansa Stark always wanted to be queen. She always wanted to be the queen. Even when she was like the very first season, she was a little girl. She begged her dad to take her to King's Landing so she could marry Joffrey and be queen.
Okay.
She always wanted to be the queen. And although she's not the queen of the kingdom, all the kingdoms, she did separate her kingdom in the north from the other six.
Right.
So now she's the queen of her own kingdom. Her brother's the king of the other six kingdoms.
Okay.
So it's a pretty good position to be in. And Arya told us in season 5 that she wanted to know what was west of Westeros. And at the end of the show, she goes on a sailboat and she's going to go out exploring. Yeah.
That's a wrap.
So she got what she wanted to get. Tyrion, who to me was one of my favorite characters, and I don't think I'm alone. I think a lot of fans really like Tyrion. He stayed as Hand of the King. All of the characters that were like not the main characters, but really important supporters of the main characters, they all kind of live and they become like the King's round table.
Okay.
All his advisors.
Okay.
And so when you think about it, like, I don't really know what fans were wanting.
But it seems like you feel as though the characters all had like a fitting conclusion to their story arcs.
Which is all you can really ask for at the end of a show like Game.
Right.
The Game of Thrones, you're not... The only other thing that could have happened in Game of Thrones, which is I think what a lot of fans expected, was like everybody dies.
Right. Which would make sense because they're notorious for killing people.
Right, so that could have happened too, but that didn't happen. What they did is they tied up everybody's story into a nice little bow.
I think people were pissed because I've heard a lot of talk about how they thought that the Battle of King's Landing or whatever that shit was. I heard a lot of people say that they were really not impressed by that either.
Well, they were pissed that Daenerys flipped.
Yeah.
She went crazy.
Right.
And they told us that the whole show too. That we don't know what we're going to get with her.
Yeah.
This is
kind of a wild card.
The people of her bloodline, you never know. So she didn't disappoint there. So all in all, I'm pleased with the ending of it.
Yeah.
If I was the writer, could I wrote it different or better? I doubt it. So it is what it is, and I'll take it. And I heard they're developing 3 different spinoffs right now, so I look forward to those as well.
What's funny is there's this growing number of people online that are either like, "Oh, you like that? You're stupid," is their automatic response, or, "Oh, you didn't like that? That's because you didn't get it, therefore you're stupid." And so, like, I think everybody kind of needs to just chill the fuck out. And I'm glad that you seem to have liked it well enough, and it's unfortunate that more people didn't, but it's what it is, I guess. So there's that. I'm kind of used to shows ending badly because I am accustomed to like shows, for instance, if you will, Dexter, which ended horribly. There's a horrible ending to a show. The only one that I can think of in recent memory that actually ended pretty well was Breaking Bad. And I feel as though all the characters kind of got as best as they could in a situation like that, So, with Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad had a good ending.
Yeah, I really liked that one. Lost was stupid. Like every show that I watched really had a dumb ending to it, pretty much. So, I'm kind of accustomed to it. That's why I was so surprised that Breaking Bad was as good as it was. But, this week, what else do you watch?
I don't know. I know I watched some like movies with Farrah.
Yeah, we watched Anthony Jeselnik last night.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Man, I laughed so hard I was crying. That dude is hilarious. So Always a good time. If you have Netflix, check him out because that dude is funny. But he's pretty inappropriate. So if you have pretty thin skin, you might not care for it too much.
Right.
This week I got a chance to try to rewatch the what was it? Oh, the most recent Alien movie, Alien Covenant, and it was meh. Like that movie got pretty thrashed by a lot of critics and fans and stuff like that. I didn't think it was that bad, but there's a lot of problems with that movie. The characters are pretty weak. Like they don't go into them all that much, so you know. It's okay, but not great. I also broke what I think is a cardinal rule of Star Wars month, and I watched like a shitload of Star Trek The Next Generation this week. So
really?
Yeah, I think I had to turn in my Star Wars fan card for watching that much Star Trek during Star Wars month. But aside from that, I really didn't watch anything else, man.
It's graduation season. I've been at graduations all week long.
Mike's been busting his ass, yeah. Anyway... So, any final thoughts, Mike? Anything you want to talk about before we go into next week's movie?
No, Ewok, fucking Caravan of Courage. It's terrible.
It's fucking dog shit. It's a really dumb movie. So, be gone. Mike may not want to watch the second one.
I don't know.
Anyway, do you know what we're watching next week?
I do. Do you?
I don't know. I'm kind of pumped about it. Because I gave you that whole long list of Star Wars related stuff to watch, and you're like, nope, not even close.
I didn't pick any of those.
Yeah.
So what I did is I thought about when we first talked about having a Star Wars month, like you wanted to kind of spice it up with a little bit of variety.
Sure.
In the very first movie that popped into my head, like upon that our initial conversation, is still the movie I'm going to pick.
Oh, no. I think I know what it is.
What is it?
Spaceballs.
It's fucking Spaceballs.
Oh, man. Believe it or not, I don't like Spaceballs that much, and people are surprised by that since I'm a big Star Wars fan. But who knows? Maybe it'll have grown on me a little bit by the time we watch it next week. So, I'm actually I'm pleased by that, Mike. You did well. You thought outside the box, mon frere.
I tried.
So yeah, you did real good. Anyway, if you guys have any final thoughts, or maybe you like the Ewoks movies, or maybe you like the first one better than the second one, you can always let us know all of your thoughts. You can email us at cheesymovie@yahoo.com. You can also check us out on Facebook, Casino Royale with Cheese, all separate words. You can look us up on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast from. You can look us up on YouTube and Instagram, Casino Royale W Cheese, and Twitter is once again irrelevant. So that, Mike, is, I think that's gonna wrap it up, man. We're 75% of the way through Star Wars month.
Yay!
So, yeah. We're gonna have to talk about something off air, Mike. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Okay.
I got an idea, but we'll go from there. So, anything else? You good?
I'm good.
All right, everybody. Well, make sure you join us next week for Spaceballs. We'll see you next time.
My Schwartz is bigger than yours.
No, it's not. Bye.
Bye.
I'll be back.